They say the Voynich manuscript was never truly decoded, but recently, 3 missing pages surfaced online. They weren't written in ink. They were burned into the parchment. Those who viewed them experienced seizures, hallucinations, and one translator vanished. The symbols? Untranslatable. The language? Not human. Some say the pages predict death. Others say they summon it. If you're reading this, it may already be too late. This isn't just a book, it's a ritual disguised as language. In the Carpathian wilderness there once stood a village not found on any current map. Locals whispered of its existence Velitzia. They called it, but records of it were erased after 1938. All that remains is a priest's scorched journal, recovered from a church basement in modern-day Romania. It speaks of a final ritual, and of an unseen presence. The journal's pages, yellowed and stained with time, recount how every villager gathered on the eve of midsummer. No names were written, only symbols. A spiral carved in ash, a circle of thorns. The ritual was performed to appease something ancient, not a god, but something watching. No one returned. Satellite imagery shows nothing but forest now. Yet anomaly seekers claim they've found stone markers deep in the tree symbols, identical to those in the priest's journal 1. YouTuber went live during a nighttime hike through the coordinates. His feed glitched violently before cutting out completely. Authorities ruled it an equipment failure. His body was never found. Reddit threads connect the symbols to early Mesopotamian summoning diagrams, ones designed not to invoke power, but to contain it. But here's the part that chills. One page describes a bell tolling at midnight, heard by no outsider. Some hikers say they've heard it still if the ritual erased the village. What did it unleash? A week before the ritual, the villagers reportedly stopped speaking aloud. Communication shifted to symbols, chalk on doorways, charcoal on skin. One journal entry describes a child with spirals drawn under their eyes. Linking in patterns, an outsider, a traveling merchant, was the last confirmed visitor. He described Velitzia as quiet as death, every window covered in red cloth. He fled the next morning, terrified by what he heard. Humming from beneath the ground, another entry claims that each villager had a role to play: watcher, binder, keeper of the offering. One drawing shows a figure with their mouth sewn shut, seated in a circle of salt and bones. The merchant tried to return weeks later, but the road was gone. Trees had overgrown the path completely. Where homes once stood, he found scorched earth and blackened stone. He took one artifact, a stone tablet carved with strange pictographs. He mailed it to a museum in Bucharest. Days later, the museum burned to the ground now. The symbol appears again, graffitied in alleys, embedded in REG games, etched into park benches. And each time, another disappearance. A cryptographer on Reddit decoded part of the priest's journal. The phrase repeated is, "He who watches when all eyes are closed." What if this wasn't a summoning, but a containment? And what if something got out? The recordings end with a single entry: "The stars have dimmed. The circle is broken. We can no longer see him, but he sees us still." What happened that night remains unclear, but satellite imagery, declassified years later, shows a heat bloom in the forest, precise, circular, and far too hot for any natural event. Stranger still, footage recovered from a Soviet drone in 1940 was found labeled Velitzia, "Do not watch." It shows figures walking in a loop, over and over disappearing when they reach the center of the village. And then, in 2021, a live stream went viral. A man exploring abandoned Eastern European ruins finds a stone with the same spiral symbol. Seconds later, the feed glitches. He screams, drops the camera, and vanishes in the background. A low voice murmuring words in an unknown tongue. The stream ended with a frame of a face, barely visible, stretched and distorted. But it was blinking in the same pattern recorded by the child decades earlier. Viewers called it a hoax until the spiral appeared again on doorways in Chicago, on abandoned walls in Osaka, on mirrors, each followed by a disappearance. Researchers now say the ritual may have been successful, but not in the way they intended. The offering may not have appeased something, it may have awakened it. And the price for breaking the silence? It's being collected one viewer at a time. If you thought the horror ended here, you're wrong. What other dark rituals and forbidden practices are still being performed in secret? Dive deeper into the chilling world of haunted ceremonies, banned footage, and eerie folklore that refuses to stay buried. Click on the playlist to uncover terrifying recordings, lost evidence, and disturbing stories they never wanted you to see. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for weekly uploads of spine-tingling footage and dark tales that echo from the shadows. This is the Forbiddance Archive, where the hidden truth and haunting evidence come to life.